right, real quick, I just want to touch on this particular topic. Earlier on today, pictures emerged from a courtroom session where Omoyele Sowore, former presidential aspirant, showed up in court with a Babalawo. So I want us to quickly talk about this. We're not going to dwell on it for too long, but I want us to touch on this quickly. Omoyele Sowore shows up in court with a Babalawo. What is your take? Ada, first of all, let me start with you. What is your take?
Okay. First off, what's wrong with a Babalawo?
Ah, Iwalo Siwibaon. Now you talk like this.
What's wrong with a Babalawo?
Ah, I don't know. That's why, I have no opinion on this.
Exactly. I also don't have an opinion.
No, Ada, why are you doing this, your Shekushaye
I also
behavior?
don't have
You know, let's discuss it. Let's discuss it. Is it wrong? Is it right?
I think he's just a traditionalist, and if people go about with their priest, their whatever, I think he just went out with his beliefs and whatever. So.
Okay. I'm live on social media, and
2 more minutes.
yes, I know we have 2 more minutes, and I'm going to bring up a couple of people. Let's see what their opinion is. Just calm down.
I am.
Let's see some plus and minus. What do you think? In all honesty, was he within his rights 100%? He was 100% within his rights. All right, I've got my sister here. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello. Hi, you have less than a minute.
Okay, we have less than a minute. Ada is going to yank us off the radio. What is your take? Omoyele Sowore showing up in court with a Babalawo.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
You see?
Okay, unfortunately,
The network is bad.
the network is a bit bad. Yeah, Omoyele Sowore showing up in court with a Babalawo. What is your take?
Oh,
if I was going to court, I would take my pastor too. So I think it's what he believes in, and it should be respected. He is a traditionalist, I believe, and so if it's what he wants, there's no problem with it. I don't see it in a big deal. It's
All
just
right.
like someone going to. It's just like someone going to the court with their pastors or their imam. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sis. All right, Ada. Take care. Bye. See you guys on the radio tomorrow.
Definitely. All right. Good night.
Good night. We'll be talking more about this on the radio tomorrow, so you can join us. Yes, he was within his right as a traditionalist. As a traditionalist, we need to respect traditionalists and their beliefs. I remember being in a sociology class in 200 level, and the lecturer was talking about an Indian tribe where they believe snake is their god, because apparently they were being chased by their enemies, and they got to a river bank, and a snake stretched across the river, and they all ran on the snake to the other side, and then they were saved. So people were now commenting in class. One guy said, nonsense, it's not possible. And then the lecturer said, but you expect them to believe that Moses stretched his rod across the Red Sea, and the Red Sea opened, and the whole sea opened. It's not snake stretched across the river. This is a whole sea opened, and people walked across the sea to get to the other side. You expect them to believe yours, but you find it hard to accommodate their belief systems. So at the end of the day, what I have to say is, personally, I'm a Christian and a Christian preacher. I believe in Yahweh, and I believe in his son Yahushua. I'm not a traditionalist, and I personally would not worship in a traditional shrine. That being said, I must learn to respect them as long as they are within their rights. As long as they are not causing people untold harm. Let me tell you, Christianity in Nigeria and Islam have caused more problems than all the traditional religions put together. All put together. Because you'll be amazed that even people who are into rituals get the motivational energy from pastors who say you can make it, and they look around and say they can't make it. Okay, let's remove this guy's tongue and go and use it to make money. So, if you lived in a place like India, where each house has like 50 different gods, you tend to be a little bit more tolerant to religious beliefs. But in Nigeria, if you do not follow one of the imported religions, that is Christianity imported from England, and Islam imported from the Middle East, you are seen as a devil. There are people who are atheist, there are people who are agnostic, there are people who, some of the most successful countries on earth are Buddhist nations. Singapore, China, predominantly Buddhist, even though China is more atheist than a Buddhist. Countries like Japan. Toyota alone is worth more than Nigeria. Toyota, a Japanese company, is worth more than Nigeria as a country. And yet the Japanese are Shintoists. So, we need to understand that everybody has their freedom of choice and freedom of religion. You don't have to subject yourself to traditional values and beliefs if you don't share them. However, it is also unfair for you to disregard people's opinion to religion, especially when it is not dangerous. You see, when I go out, some people say, Daddy Free, it's you that are fighting pastors over tithe. Tithe is a dangerous, oppressive, restrictive doctrine that was added falsely to Christianity. I tell you over and over again, tithing has never been a part of Christianity. Christ did not collect it. The disciples did not collect it. They are using it to frustrate the lives of people. The richest people on earth don't pay tithe. The richest nations on earth are not tithing nations. Some people say it's not us. I was comparing, if you need to watch my video over the weekend, I was comparing the Netherlands with Nigeria. The gross domestic product of the Netherlands is 901 billion naira, while that of Nigeria is 448 billion naira. Nigeria has less than half of the GDP of the Netherlands, but Nigerian population is 205 million. Netherlands population is only 17 million. So Nigeria has less, the Netherlands has less than 10% of the Nigerian population, but more than double its GDP. Meanwhile, the Netherlands is one of the least religious countries in Europe. So at the end of the day, when it comes to quality of life, religion has nothing to do with it. Nigeria is not safer than Netherlands. Our roads are not better than Netherlands roads. The average Nigerian life expectancy rate is 54.3. Meanwhile, the average Netherlands life expectancy rate is 81.1. So in Netherlands, you stand a higher chance of living into your 80s than in Nigeria, where by the time you're 55, You're on your own. So, I don't see, and I must make this comment, before the imported religions came, Nigeria was safer than it is today. There were less incidents of, at least reported incidents of harassment to women. There were less crimes. Those days, when there was there were traditional religions, you get a basket. My grandmother used to tell stories of, you put a basket of oranges by the side of the road. You put a little purse there, and you also put some money. Do you know why you put some money? Because somebody coming to buy orange, what if he's coming with a note and needs change? So you are going to put not just the orange, but also the change. So the guy is coming, he picks 5 oranges, cuts it with his knife, sits down in one corner, eats the orange. When he's done, he puts in his money, takes his change, and goes. The next person comes, meets this tray, enjoys his oranges, goes. At the end of the day, the woman comes back, meets her purse full and her oranges empty. She gets up and she goes. So, this was the story of Nigeria before these religions started massively and aggressively taking over. Nigeria was the supplier of 40% of the world's palm oil. Today we are importing palm oil. Nigeria was actively exporting groundnuts. Today we are exporting religion. So it's like we devolved into what we are today, and no thanks to imported religions. Because whether you like it or not, religions have a way of enveloping your entire life. It's not, you see, abroad, you are a Catholic, you go to church, you hold your mass, you donate to the poor. Your whole life is not Catholicism. You go and work with Buddhists. You go and work with atheists. They don't share your religious sentiments, and you don't share theirs, and you don't need to. In Nigeria, I've seen pastors on a Tuesday or Wednesday say that you must leave your work and come to church. If you don't, even that work can be taken away from you. You don't know that God can take away your work. Meanwhile, at the end of the day, once the church service is done on that weekday, they're going to charge you a fee. They're going to charge you offering. They're going to charge you something. Somebody's going to leave you. So, I was preaching earlier on that much of what we believe we practice as religion in this part of the world is actually not religion. It is religious trauma syndrome. I did an entire video. I dedicated an entire video to it. You can see it live on youtube.com/Daddy Freeze Teaches. Just please go check it out. It talks about religious trauma syndrome. Many people think that what they have is a belief system. Meanwhile, they are literally running mad. They're developing psychological problems. They're far away from reality in their thinking, in their understanding. What they think is spirituality is actually madness. It has no recourse to reality. So we also need, as human beings, to be able to identify these things and be able to see where we need. In Nigeria, point number one that the government needs to do, they need to put religion where it belongs. It belongs in a point Two-Face DBR raised. It belongs in cleansing your conscience and providing spiritual growth. Finish. It has no business in politics. It has no business in business. The job of a religious organization is to cater to your conscience and spiritual needs. Nothing more than that. And until we're able to identify this, we're going to continue going round in circles. I saw people yapping Sowore. over this issue, saying he went to the courthouse with the Babalawo. I might not agree with Sowore on many things, but in this particular instance, I don't see what he did that is wrong. When you to carry your pastors, let me tell you, I don't want to say 90% of it. Many of your pastors are Babalawos. That thing they are preaching to you, many of them are even Satanists. That thing they are preaching to you is not Christianity. When Christ warned you in Matthew chapter 5 that you must pray for your enemies and you must bless them, you go to one shrine where they tell you that pray, enemy die, enemy die, enemy die. That one not be Pastor Babalawo. He just wears suit. And there was something someone said a little while back. He said, when people stopped patronizing native doctors, the native doctors began to wear suits and stand behind pulpits. When people stopped patronizing native doctors, the native doctors upgraded. They began to wear suits and they began to stand behind pulpits. So, many people who practice Christianity in Nigeria are actually not practicing. There's no scriptural basis for their brand of Christianity. Neither is there any logical basis for it. But hey, it's what they believe in. They come to church with their pastors. I've seen people import pastors from Nigeria to come and pray for them in the UK. And really? Have you forgotten that in many instances Christ told people, go home. Your daughter is healed. Your son is healed. Christ didn't have to move. And if your faith is strong, you don't need to bring a pastor or you just know that he's done it. The woman with the issue of blood just touched his garment and moved. She didn't make him into one whole religion and start worshiping him every morning for 5 hours and start worshiping him every afternoon for 10 hours and then praying every midnight for 50 hours. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. She touched, received her healing, got her virtue, and moved. Many of you need to adopt that principle. Come to Christ, hand over to him, but then go back and work. Go back and face your life. Not turn. Some people hold in their houses, they hold morning devotion and evening devotion. Colossians chapter 2 clearly warns us about this. All these strict things, they really do nothing at the end of the day to remove the evil inside you. I remember I was dating a girl once. I used to go to her house at night. She would sneak out. And nobody sabi do prayer meeting reach them for their house. At the end of the day, did it work in her life? Was it impactful? I would say no. Many children in this dispensation struggle with the harshness of these imported religions. Many children find it difficult to align their thinking and ideology with these religions. They are too constrictive, too restrictive. And that is why if you define religious trauma syndrome, it talks about the fact that people are suffering without knowing that they're suffering. They think their suffering is a type of spirituality. Meanwhile, we're alone, on ya we're bo dear ni. We're dear, we're alasho. So that's my take. I personally would not even go to court with a pastor. First of all, I am my own pastor. I no get spiritual father. That spiritual father, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe in it. I don't have a spiritual father and I'm not looking for one. Neither do I have spiritual children. I have brothers and sisters in the faith. I have people who regard my anointing, who regard my revelations, who regard my understanding of the scriptures highly. Does not mean I'm their father. Me and Sheba one more Baba, their papa day house. So, and one of the things that the Free Nation started doing was raising shepherds. We are not raising more sheep, we're raising shepherds. Every single person who listens to me is a potential Free Nation ambassador, is a potential shepherd. If you listen to me well and you are dedicated, you can preach the word of God. It's not magic. Once you understand the basis of it, anywhere you find yourself and discussion comes up, you can share the message with a few people. So that's my point, and that's my point exactly. Somebody saying, let me call my wife to join this teaching. She too believes pastor doings. Whereas God lives in us and hear us when we pray. Absolutely. You see, you need to understand that even the scriptures are clear when they say God's law is now written in our hearts. Your heart, your spirit is very important. Sometimes that pastor you are listening to does not have a clue what he's talking about. I listen to them now. They know what they are talking about. Most of them don't know what they are. I listen to them and I worry for them. And mostly I worry for the people that take them seriously. Some of them don't even have the basic understanding of what Christianity is, and then they are teaching it. So I have that issue with them. Now, you need to understand that a pastor is a teacher. There is nobody in the Free Nation who has ever taken me to court before so I can be praying for him while the court case is going on. First of all, when you look at Daddy Freeze, you not even think about that kind of thing, because Daddy Freeze no put you for that kind of cruise ship. Make only you can't they cruise. Make Daddy Freeze they press your button. So that's as far as we can go this evening. Take good care of yourselves. I absolutely love you all and hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have my Forex session with Bookie Forex with Daddy Freeze, and Bookie join us at between 2:30 and 3 p.m. It's going to be awesome for those of you who are interested in learning about trading Forex. That's going to be on right there. And I'm also going to be talking about black and white thinking. It's very deep. You need to be a part of it. It's all in the series for this week, building up to Sunday's big sermon. So please make sure you join us. So far, we have raised, I think, about 170,000 out of the 300,000 needed for those boys and Perpetual. And Taste Buds made a point. Everybody don't, you see, Nigerians, even in our giving, we are wicked. In our giving, we don't know how to give without expecting anything in return. If I brought a widow here today and say, this is a widow, you will raise 500k for her. I asked for 3 things. 1, Perpetual, the girl who took these boys from the street and kept them in her home. And this girl was jobless for almost a year. Meanwhile, everybody giving is either giving to one of the 2 boys. Take for Stephen, take for Chinedu. Nobody is even thinking of this lovely lady who did what many of us will not do. Many of us will not host strangers in our home, let alone strangers from the street. None of us have, nobody has even sent 2K. I say, this one is for Perpetual, the lady that is keeping these boys. Imagine you are keeping 2 boys, you are taking care of them, and then you don't have work yourself. And then the boys are living, are they not going to eat? There's no child of, and look at how healthy those boys were. Go and watch our Sunday sermon titled Russian Roulette. You see how chubby and healthy those boys were. Those boys are eating. What are they eating? Who is feeding them? The Perpetual. Not even a single, most people are donating because, let me give to the orphan, let me give to the street children. Oh, so I'll be blessed, so I'll be blessed. Listen, if your aim of giving is not because you care about your fellow being, forget about the blessing. Forget about the blessing. So please, as you are supporting the boys, which is a noble cause, please also put in something for Perpetual if you have the means. The account number is Free the Sheeple Ministries. I hope to be able to raise the 300k we're looking for before the end of the week, so I can bring her on again on Sunday, and we're able to tell her that we're able to tell you guys that, okay, we've sorted her out. Here she is. Bam, bam, bam. Free the Sheeple Ministry, Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338. Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338. Free the Sheeple Ministry. Whatever you have that you feel that you can share with those two boys who are homeless living with Perpetua, please feel free to do so. And for the rest of us, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I absolutely love you all. Take good care of yourselves, and remember to love one another. Okay? Take care, guys. I was working out while doing my radio show. I'm tired. Let me go and shower and go straight to bed. Take care. Love you.